This is a meeting of the Beavercreek Township Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay, and we have 3 cases tonight. All are variances. What we'd like to do is each of the case, the first one's going to be 866. We'll ask someone to step up to the podium and read the little card that's there and put in their name and what it's requesting, and that way it's on record that you are the person that's going to be testifying or giving testimony for this case tonight. Once we hear from the public that are for the case, we will ask if anybody wishes to speak against or have general comments on the case. We will close after that testimony and just discuss it and vote on it amongst ourselves. We will probably ask people questions that have testified or has put testimony into the record. Okay? With that said, as the introduction, will you do a roll?
Mr. Huntsman.
Yes.
Mr. Martinzik.
Present.
Mr. Hemmer.
Here.
Mr. Thomas.
Here.
Ms. Gotwell. Here.
Okay. There are no staff reports, if I...
That's correct.
Okay.
We'll be reading the public notice essentially to give some details of each case.
Okay.
Before we get started, may I request a modification to the agenda? We have, towards the end of the agenda, we have a request for an extension for a case that was granted, case 856. I think through miscommunication with myself and the applicant, he has shown up tonight, and I think since it's a very short order of business, I'd request to move that to the beginning before we hear cases so that we can, let him not have to sit through 3 cases, if that's okay with you all.
Yeah.
Excellent. So just very quickly then, what I would do is request that you amend the agenda with a motion.
We don't know what it is.
So we would ask that you consider the extension request from Matt Trentle from BZA Case 856 to move that to, I'll give you a slight bit of information. But just to hear that before we hear any of the cases.
Okay. Okay. Do I hear a motion to amend the
Make a motion
agenda?
to amend
The agenda? Thank
the
you.
agenda.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Okay.
Thank you, Board. So very quickly, Matt Trentle came to you, again, BZA Case 856 was a carport. He was asking for a size extension for this. It's basically, like I said, carport sitting off the side of his driveway. I don't know if you remember the case.
On Alpha Bell Brook?
Vaguely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Matt, just through, as things can tend to happen, especially at the times we live in now, wasn't able to get to the project. He's still interested in doing it. He asked our office, is there a process for, because they're only good for a year, is there a process for extending that BZA approval? There is a process. They just asked for an extension here. So that is what he is requesting. And we would just ask the board to please grant him the extension. We think that reasonable circumstances kept him from building it. So we just like to give him some more time.
The extension is for how long?
It's for 6 months.
For 6 months?
And he is able to come in for a second extension, but no more than that.
Right. Okay. Okay, the request has been made for an extension and has been explained. Is there any discussion amongst the board members? This happens every now and then,
Right.
so,
No,
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
fine with the extension.
okay, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the extension for BZA case 856.
I second.
And that takes it to 7/19/23?
Yeah, it'll be 6 months from this date.
Oh, from this date.
6-month extension.
From
Yeah,
this
from
date.
this date.
All right.
Okay, motion's been made, been seconded.
Mr. Huntsman?
Yes?
Mr. Martinsek?
Yes?
Mr. Hemmer?
Yes?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Cotwall? Yes.
Thank you, board. You're all good to go. Thanks for being here.
Get to work.
All right, thank you, board.
Okay, the first case tonight is 866. Who would like to read it in the record?
So quickly, I'll read you the public notice for 866. For case 866, a request from property owner Dennis Simons for the property located at 1818 Debbie Lane, parcel ID B03-000-200-42-000-5700. The applicant requests a variance from Township Zoning Resolution Article 18.05, subsection 5, which limits the size of accessory structures. The parcel is currently zoned A1 agricultural. And we do have some, what I did was include the article here for you all, which notes that the accessory structure size limited to 50% of the footprint of the main building, or another amount which is not relevant here. We're focusing on the 50% of the footprint. I've included the application, the justification document that the applicant sent, and some plot plan images to give you an idea of where the building will sit, roughly how big it is compared to other structures on the parcel. And I do have some photos of the parcel whenever you would like to view those as well.
Thank you. Who would be speaking for the case tonight? Okay.
My name is Dennis Simons. I live at 1818 Debbie Lane, and I'm the one requesting the variance. Yes.
Would you please
Oh, okay.
read that statement?
I, Dennis Simons, at 1818 Debbie Lane, solemnly swear that the statements I am about to make before the Beavercreek Township Board of Zoning Appeals are the truth to the best of my knowledge and belief.
Thank you.
Hey, you bet.
Okay. Why don't you give us a summary of what
I'm looking, I've got about 7.5 acres. I'm looking to add, I've got one additional building out there currently, a 20 by 40. I'm looking to add a 30 by 40, a 32 by 40 additional structure. I need more storage for some of the implements and things I have. It's zoned agriculture, and the building is at such an area that I don't think it encroaches anybody's, I don't know that anybody's got an issue with it.
Okay, you say it's on Debbie Lane?
It's on Debbie Lane.
You do have some neighbors there,
There's one other person at the back of Debbie Lane.
within
And
500 feet?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And then the other guy on the back side of me, you may know Keith Maxwell. He's got the horse farm out there.
yeah.
And me and Keith have talked about it, so he can't even see it where he's at.
Okay.
So, and the other person on Debbie Lane, it's probably 300 feet from their house, and so I don't think it's impeding him.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, they were notified of your
Yeah,
application?
yeah.
Okay.
So-
Is there any other thing there? Are there like any drainages or septic or gas lines or anything like that?
No, I'm
You
all
wanna build
electric,
that?
and my septic is on the other end of the house. I'm up on the crown of a hill where that building's gonna be at, so there's really no water issues. I don't know of anything out there, and it's within 15, 20 feet of the existing building that's out there,
Okay,
so.
okay.
And, yeah,
There it is.
The main house, existing accessory structure, and then the proposed new structure. And the photos I have, actually, Dennis staked out the area, so it'll give you a really good idea of where it sits compared to other buildings. If you'd like to view those now, I can pull them up.
Just curious, are you gonna plan to have some sort of a hard stand driveway to it?
I do. It's about 20 feet off of the current driveway that's there. I just plan on having that 20-foot apron.
That's from the entrance of the structure, the front of the structure here.
You can see my neighbor's two buildings on that, he's got two buildings back there. And that's my existing building where the pickup truck is at. And the new building will be right where those two trees are, pretty much.
Okay.
So let me get a little closer there. So this is the staked out area. I believe you told me that this tree,
Yes, that tree has to come out. The other one, I'm not sure yet.
you're thinking you might be able to save.
Maybe I will save it, yep.
But so that should give you a rough idea of where Lyle.
Staked out.
So the closest corner to the property line is how far?
On the that side right there, there's a fence line right there, there's 25 feet from the back of the building to that fence line that goes between me and my neighbor's property.
That's 25 feet?
Yeah, right through
Okay.
there. And then to my back line over here, it's about 300 feet.
Right.
To the side of that building.
Okay, I was just curious what was behind the new building. So it's 25 feet?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
25 feet, and then there's another building over here that he has, and another building over here that he has. There's about 20 or 30 feet on the other side of that fence line.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any questions? John?
No.
No? Thank you.
Hey, you bet, thank you,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So I haven't seen anywhere, maybe I missed it. What's the square footage of the house? Because we're about half the square footage, right?
It's,
At present?
For you real quick off GIS.
What did they just recently change that to, the square footage allowed for accessory building?
50% of the
50?
footprint.
Okay.
Footprint, not the square foot.
Oh, yeah, footprint.
do you know the square footage of your home?
I think it's about 2,700 square feet. It's a two-story,
Uh-huh.
so I'm thinking that probably the upper is not as big, so it's probably about 1,500 on the lower level.
Okay.
So
Uh,
750.
Green County GIS lists the total square footage at 2,472 square feet.
And he's wanting,
2,000 in yet, because he's got an existing structure.
no, that's true, okay.
Yeah, it's the existing structure that makes the total accessory area exceed that 50%, not just this one.
Okay.
But he's got 7.5 acres to take care of.
Right.
Right.
And we know what that takes.
Well, maybe you do.
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. If there's no other discussion or questions?
And the height is strictly gonna be the allowed height, right?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah,
below?
it's, I think he said 20 feet, this is only 15 feet, so.
All right. Oh, I see it on the drawing now. I didn't see that drawing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have. I missed that earlier. Didn't ask us
Well,
questions.
24 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. My bad. All right, I don't have anything else.
I don't think we have to read through the criteria for a variance on this, because I don't think there's anything that's really controversial.
No.
Do
think
I
so.
hear a motion?
I would just recommend that we still should probably open up for public comments, even though we
Negatives or
visibly
positives?
see that there likely won't be any, we'll still need to open up.
Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak about case 866, either general or against? Hearing no, thank you. Keep me honest, yeah. Hearing no discussion, okay. Motion has been made.
Has there been motion made?
I'm asking.
Oh,
Motion has
Oh.
been made?
Aye.
Because you were just talking?
yeah, I'd like to make a motion that BZA case 866 be approved as submitted.
I second.
Seconded?
Mr. Huntsman?
Yes?
Mr. Bartensek?
Yes.
Mr. Hemmer?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Scotwell? Yes.
All right, thank you, board. Very quickly, what we'll do here is we will have a copy of what's essentially a temporary resolution, letting you know the decision tonight. Once we get the full resolution typed up and signed, we'll get that to you as well. So I'm gonna bring you a couple copies, have you sign this. All set.
A1 zoning, 5 acres or more, you're unlimited. Really? Okay. Right. Yeah. Right, you wouldn't have had to do it, yeah, yep, it's all how you word it.
All right, while we're getting that, settled,
Well, this is
would you like to move on to case 867, or would you wanna wait till this is all finished up?
Please, go, yeah.
All right, so, the public hearing notice for case number 867. A request from property owners Robert and Kimberly Riley, Riley, for the property located at 1635 Kathy Marie Court, parcel ID number B03-0003-9000-3800. The applicant requests a variance from Township Zoning Resolution Article 18.05, subsection 5, which limits the size of accessory structures. The parcel is currently zoned PUD R1AA, which is a residential planned unit development. And just the same information included as your last case, the article which lists the zoning resolution, the justification document, some plot plans, if you will, with dimensions and where it'll be on the lot. I've also included, because we were not sure where the septic system and everything lied in relation to this, we have a note from the health department that says they reviewed this and saw no conflict with septic as well. And then we also have some photos whenever you're ready for those as well.
Thank you. Who is speaking for tonight?
Not me, I had to make all the drawings.
Division of duties. I love it.
Okay, my name is Robert Riley. I'm at 1635 Kathy Marie Drive, Xenia, Ohio 45385. Solemnly swear that the statement I am about to make before the Beavercreek Township Board of Zoning Appeals are the truth to the best of my knowledge and belief.
Before we go, can I ask for a correction? The map shows court, he says drive. Which is it?
It's court.
Thank
The
you
sign
very
says court, but everything always comes up drive, so. But it is court in the record.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I need?
No? Nope. No.
Okay.
Give us a summary in your words.
Well, basically, we're looking to put a garage, additional garage structure up to house equipment and a boat and such, other extra vehicles. The structure itself is a 35 by 40 structure with a 12-2 pitch with a 14 eve height, which puts it at 22 feet to the peak. The structure itself will be 1,400 square feet. And I have a neighbor that has a structure that's 36 by 36 right across the street, and his is 1299. So
Very similar.
yes,
Okay, in intent and size.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. The pitch on the roof is to match the roof of the house?
Oh no, the
No?
pitch on the roof is 45 degrees. It's real steep. So
Is it for solar or for?
no, it's just to bring the garage height up to the roof level of the house, pretty much. itself, because the house is 2-story. And it's got a full basement, but it's only halfway in the ground. So the building is a lot of vertical. So they put a steep pitch roof on the garage in order to try to aesthetically make it appealing.
I see, okay, okay.
What's the
Any-
pitch on the roof that you're gonna build?
It's a 12-2. It'll be about,
Not 212.
yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Can I,
And as Max made the comment, the health department says it will not interfere with your septic?
Correct. If you look at the drawing there, the lower half of the building is the backyard. You can see the leach lines right there. It's actually
Oh, okay.
where that concrete pad is below the garage right there. Yes.
Okay,
The septic tank is right there, and then the leach field comes out. You can see where the leach lines really start in this drawing. It's pretty.
and should you ever have to expand the leach field, it would go to the east there?
Well, it could go straight back even.
Okay,
Oh, he's got plenty of room for that.
Yeah, from the edge of the driveway to the tree there where the building is, that the bottom corner of the driveway, it's 70 feet to that tree, which is to the right.
right.
And then it's 45 feet from the edge, the corner of the driveway vertically to the wellhead. So it's gonna be 55, almost 60 feet from where the corner of the structure will be, which will put it at about 25 feet from the building.
can I assume orientation, the doors will be facing the driveway?
Correct.
And just gonna bump out the driveway into it?
I don't really have a need to extend it much beyond the driveway other than just to connect it.
Okay.
There may be a slight sidewalk, because I plan on shifting the building down about 6 feet. So there may be a slight sidewalk to go to the entry door. And I have drawings of the what the doors will look like. So basically it'll look like so.
Total square footage.
Oh, yeah.
So the pass-through door will be approximately at the edge of the driveway corner.
Did I understand that the location shown here is not the actual location of the build, that you're shifting it down 6? Or did I misunderstand what you said?
It's very close, very close. It'll only be a few feet. It may possibly go up against the driveway that's there, but if not, it'll be slightly extended just for access to the doors.
Yeah, as long as you don't go any closer to the street.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's not,
You know,
it's not
you
going that
could
direction
technically
at all.
go a little closer to the street as long as you stay behind the front of your house.
What's the
Correct.
distance from the street to the edge of the building?
If I had to guess,
How about from the property line to the?
Property line to the building?
What's that dimension? I think it's quite a bit.
yeah, it will not extend beyond the edge of the house, so.
What's the setback of the house then?
If I had to guess it, I would say it's gotta be close to 80 feet.
Okay.
I measured it from the other way, from the corner up, not from the street down.
So you're gonna be a little bit behind your house, hopefully?
Yes.
Setback?
It's probably halfway.
Well, not quite half, but
And then from the side property line, what's that distance?
it's approximately 75 feet
Okay.
from the edge of the driveway to the property line.
if this is built, are you still gonna have the need for the shed in the back?
Yes, because it also has equipment in it already. It's pretty well full. That's kind of why we're having to try to expand.
And how many acres total do you have?
2.44.
So with the building, the side of the building is still about 30 feet from the property line?
Correct,
It'll be, okay.
correct.
Total square footage is
1,400.
1,500 square feet with the shed.
14.
Accessory structures. Your total
Oh,
accessory
yeah.
With
structure.
the additional 12 by 8,
Yeah.
yes, it's,
Mhm.
So about 1,500 square
Yeah,
feet of
just
the
a little bit.
accessory structure. And you said your house size, footprint is,
I don't know off the top of my head. I have the,
listed at 2,580 square feet. What's just slightly
over?
over.
Okay. Just slightly.
Mm.
Okay. And everything
Because
else,
of your shed.
I can't.
Yeah, I think even without the shed, it would still be slightly over.
Just.
Really?
Yeah, because it would be, he'd need roughly about 3,000 square feet, or I'm sorry, 2,800 square feet to have the 1,400 square foot structure. He's at 2,580, so we're, you know, small margins, I would say, considering the acreage that we're working with here.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
any other questions?
You wanna make those trusses, storage trusses?
If I can afford to.
Gain a lot of room,
Well, yeah,
Room you're giving up.
yeah, and
gain a lot of room.
it'll have a 14-foot eve height, so
Oh, yeah,
I can get
Yep.
my boat in there without having to put the thing down.
yeah, make sure you build it tall enough, cause motorhomes are, and fifth wheels are approaching 13.5 in height.
Right.
I speak from experience, and my 14-foot door is just, Tall enough.
Gotta push the door up tight to the
They are.
opening.
Yeah.
13.5.
I know some bridges that aren't 13.5.
I know, I don't go under them. Anyway, just food for thought.
All right, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? or-
No, we'll go ahead and ask if there's anyone wishing to speak against your case, unless you have other testimony you wish to add.
No,
No? You want to speak against it? All right. Hearing no other testimony, we'll go ahead and close the public portion and we'll discuss it amongst ourselves.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You've got the setbacks, and you've got the size, those are outrageous, so I don't have a problem.
Yeah, we're not horribly over.
Yeah.
What is allowed anyway.
And I just like, whether it was designed that way or not, the fact that you got trees in front of it that really help block it from the street. I thought that, when I first saw it, I thought that was a really good idea.
Same?
Well, and it's not gonna be an obtrusive look, it's gonna be a good looking building. so.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, in his reasoning for justification, to be able to make sure he doesn't have to have the stuff parked outside, I think we've all been driving
Yeah.
around and see.
Yeah,
You see
Not
John,
to say they look junky, but
They look junky.
okay.
It's plain and simple, they do.
they do.
yeah, you got one down the street from me,
Yes, we do.
which we gotta talk about after the meeting.
Okay. Okay, if there's no other discussion, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve case 867 as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made, seconded,
Mr. Huntsman,
call for vote, yes.
Mr. Martenson,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Goff.
Yes.
All right, thank you, board. Same thing that we did for Mr. Simons, we're gonna have a couple of copies for you. Thank you, Carolyn, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And once we get that wrapped up, it's
got those.
usually the day
Those in
after,
here.
depending on how today or tomorrow works, maybe Monday, that we end up having a full resolution that we can send a copy of to you. For all intents and purposes, you've been approved. If you wanna send in your permit application, you can do that with no fee now. You pay for that with the BZA application. You can do that as early as tomorrow. You don't need to have that resolution. So you just reference the BZA case.
Are you gonna be open Monday, Max?
I'm sorry?
Are you gonna be open Monday?
No, we will, oh yeah, good point.
I I just thought I'd say that.
Very good.
That's President's Day is Monday.
It is
Yeah.
President's
is.
Day. I don't think I'll be stopping in to get the resolution.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up.
No, I appreciate that, thank you. It would be Tuesday as Monday's a holiday, so. Okay, before we get started with the final case, 868, the applicant, Karen Romeo, was not able to attend. She had travel planned and her husband dealing with a medical issue, a pretty serious one, I won't go into details, but, suffice it to say, she cannot be here. I don't think that should be held against her in any way, shape, or form. It's just a matter of, unavoidable scheduling conflicts, and she didn't wanna wait until next month.
I was just gonna ask,
Yeah.
why don't she just hold off to next month?
I think from her justification document, this is something that they'd like to get done sooner rather than later. Again, without divulging information that I don't think she wants shared, the nature of the medical emergency that's happening is something that is adding a lot of stress to the situation. And so, just trying to balance, the need for that to be, taking a look at the facts of the case and seeing if we can make a decision. If not, we can always postpone this until next month, if that's what the board would choose to do. But I would ask that we move forward and use her justification document as essentially her testimony.
I think,
Could you show the pictures at least that you took
For the previous one or
for this one?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
as for what you're asking, I think it, if there's a lot of questions or assumptions that we have to make, it may be the benefit they're here to answer.
And
That's the only real problem.
We
we're
can always
dealing with.
discuss it and then
Table it?
table it.
Yeah, I think we
If
need to
it
keep that
comes to
option.
that.
Yeah, we need to keep that
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
We pull up the photos for.
Do you have any
Before
quotes?
So, just to be clear, Emily, you wanted for 868, the photos, right?
This one, yeah.
For this.
Yeah,
So,
I'll ask.
just very quickly, I'm gonna read the public notice.
Okay.
Just so we can, keep everything uniform here. To start the case, so, case number 868, a request from property owner Karen Romeo for property located at 242 Yorkshire Lane, parcel ID number B03-000-200-512-00440. The applicant requests a variance from Township Zoning Resolution Article 18.01, subsection 3, which prohibits building structures in required yard setbacks. The parcel is currently zoned RPD, which is a residential plan unit development. Alright, so we'll get started with some photos here. So what I did was take photos from kind of each angle around the deck, just so you could get a sense of, and this I think illustrates it really nicely. You can see this line here, where the deck is kind of cornered off here. That follows the rear yard setback, which is 70 feet. We figured out that the rear yard setback is 70 feet because it backs up to a more traveled road, like a main road, rather than a neighborhood road, if that makes sense. So
So it is not,
Oh, that must be a build line.
Okay.
BL.
Can we hold just for a second?
Yeah.
You don't have to sit, okay? You can leave.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anytime.
yeah.
We're done with you, okay?
No, thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.
good call, Brent.
Sorry about that.
So I'm sorry, you were in the middle of the question.
no,
Okay.
I'm,
Maximum build line, that's probably what that MBL means.
so there's no high power tension lines on the road beyond the main road? That's the only time I've
What's the
seen
main
a
road?
70-foot.
Let me take a look. I didn't believe I saw any when I was out there that I clocked, but I wasn't necessarily keeping my eye out for them, so hold on 1 second.
What's the difference? This is the-
Because I know in a conservancy, they have some enormous,
Right.
Yeah, they-
setback because of
Transmission
those
lines.
high power transmission lines, and they can't put anything back there.
Exactly.
If it were in like an electric utility easement, I don't think we'd be
Weird.
recommending approval.
That's why I wanted to know
No,
what MBL
absolutely.
stood for.
To the best of my knowledge, it is shorthand for, like Leo mentioned, maybe maximum build line or something like that. I've
Yeah.
never seen it written as MBL.
Is it, that chopped off corner parallels that road,
Yes.
if you look at it.
And
See
it
how-
is, they built the original deck, to not need a variance. They kept it right at the rear yard setback line, which makes it a bit of a crooked shape, not squared off. I think when they went to update the deck, redo it, they were asking themselves, do we have to deal with this weird shape? Can we just square it off a little bit? They talked to us about it. I said, look.
So
you know,
this deck is a two-story deck.
It is. And yeah,
So I
Well, it's paved under it. I mean, it's concreted under it.
paved under it, so I'm still back to, can we give a variance if there's some kind of rule of setback that, you know, because we're allowing them to build a two-story structure on something.
Well, it would be no different than someone we've already approved for encroaching on the rear.
But I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know what
Rear
this-
yard setback.
Tell me what a 70
Is that on the
MBL
survey?
means. I mean, it's in the drawings, it's on the construction drawing.
Well, it's a build line because it parallels Indian Ripple. If you look at Indian Ripple, they parallel each other.
Yeah,
It
I
says
don't,
it's minimum building.
Minimum
minimum
build
building
line, or,
line.
yeah.
well, then how can we approve it then? If that's,
so
We
what
can
I'm
encroach
bringing up here is
into it.
the record plan, which is what's on file at regional planning that outlines the different lots in the neighborhood. It's lot number 44. This is the minimum building setback line, which is the rear yard setback.
Minimum, yeah.
It's a different name for the same
Right.
term. Whenever we approve or hear cases about a variance for building in a required yard setback, that's what they're discussing is building inside or outside of the building envelope or within a building setback. So this would be very similar to a lot of the cases you've approved in the past where someone said, hey, I wanna, extend my deck into the rear yard setback. I wanna in fact, one of the cases that you heard in the last session was for a home addition that was encroaching into the rear yard setback just slightly. That's the exact same thing as the MBL minimum build line.
Well, we had the two-story deck on a house that had a really, really, really small backyard,
That's right.
and it went 5 or 10 feet into the.
I don't think it was more like 20.
Was it? I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
was.
remember that being.
It was a
kind of
big
line,
hill, and
but
well, this one's gonna go,
I mean, we're talking.
This one
We're not talking.
goes only a few feet into the setback.
Yeah,
here,
if you
and
square
pull
that off, that's not more than 5 feet.
So,
okay,
yeah, this
What do
is
you
the
think?
proposal here.
13 feet.
it's
that's
13 by 32.
Correct.
That other end
So
encroaching
it's
there.
basically gonna encroach about 5 feet.
It's
into
does
the-
it say that that's does that little measurement there say 8 feet or 5 feet to the left of the word deck?
8 feet.
8.
It's 8,
Yeah.
So that's
And on
how
the
I
other
arrived
side
at
it's-
5.
so 5 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
5 feet.
As long as you guys think
That
we
much.
can, we're got the ability to approve that, I'm fine with it. I just saw that and,
But seeing his pictures, it's actually, there's a lot of tree growth on Indian Ripple.
Right.
So actually seeing it is not gonna be a problem.
That part's not, I don't.
You'll never know it's 5 feet closer to the road
No.
from Indian Ripple.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
And Indian Ripple, that's a 2-lane road and Max is gonna be a 5-lane road at some
Someday.
date in the
I mean, they've got a fence
super
put up, and
duper future,
it
that's only gonna add 20 feet.
fence
25
parallels
feet.
the house, not the road.
So even if it adds 25 feet to there, it's not anywhere near the 70 feet.
Right,
Right.
so if we look at the GIS here, this area is the road right of way that's still.
Already,
Yeah, and so this is 70 feet from their property line to their home, not even including the space between their property.
okay,
line and-
okay, all right, all my concerns are.
Sure.
Fine, thank you,
Satiated?
yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How do they realize that they needed to come in for a variance, I wonder?
Well, they put in for a application, just a normal zoning permit application for the deck. it's in the building setback, I know it's only a little bit bigger.
Okay, okay.
All right.
I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
I really don't.
Why don't we now? So
No. No. Do we hear a
No, 'cause
motion?
we
I make a
approved it.
motion that we,
Public.
I know.
do we make a motion?
This will be 65 feet from
Oh.
the,
Yeah, just gotta open and close it.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Having completed the floor discussion in the testimony through Max, is there anyone wishing to speak against or have other comments on case 868? Crickets. So we will close the public portion, and we have been discussing it. Is there a motion has been made?
are they, not that it makes any difference, but is she gonna redo the concrete that's under it too to be the same shape of the deck, or she didn't say?
We didn't discuss it, my assumption is that yes,
Okay.
she would,
I'm just
but,
curious.
I can't say for sure.
So it won't, just let her know, not to let it be any closer to the road than what the deck's gonna be.
Sure.
I make a motion that case 868 be approved as submitted.
I second.
Motion's been made, seconded?
Mr. Huntsman?
Yes?
Mr. Martinson?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Scott? Yes.
Thank you, board, I appreciate that.
Sorry.
I'm going to.
Not a whole lot of controversy here, okay?
These ones
This
were
is low-hanging fruit,
blessedly
okay?
easy. I'm gonna have you sign this for me. If I determine that we need to redo this document for any reason, then I will bring that with me, when we have the resolution signed, but this is really a placeholder document, it's not.
That's fine.
All right, thank you so much.
You want this one?
I see the solar building being built.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's massive.
Really?
Well, we knew it was
We
gonna
knew it
be
was gonna be massive.
33 feet in the air.
Oh, you have to go by there.
Oh, I will, I will.
You talking about the solar shed?
Yeah.
Yeah, we,
Only thing
heard
is
from
it's-
him not too long ago saying, hey, we're about to finish up and come check it out, so.
Fascinating.
All right,
They definitely will.
so just checking the agenda real quick, we moved the extension request and we, the only thing we have left for you is a couple sets of minutes that we sent out. Just a quick brief, last time there were some questions about, can, the board or members of the board who were not present at a given meeting approve minutes for that meeting? That was one of the questions, and do we need a quorum, of members that were at that meeting to approve that meeting? We did bring that up with Dawn Frick, our legal counsel. So her response is essentially, technically, there is no requirement in Robert's Rules of Orders that a member have firsthand knowledge of something before voting on minutes, or that minutes must be voted on as long as the chair asks if there are any changes or corrections that need to be made. However, it is best practice to do so. If, unfortunately, there are cases where we cannot any longer because those board members no longer serve. So essentially, yes, you can approve minutes, you can vote to approve minutes that you were not actually present at the meeting. You're not approving the content, like you're not approving saying these minutes reflect what happened at the meeting. You are saying these minutes represent our best attempt at capturing.
The record of the meeting.
Exactly. If no corrections are noted, it would be sufficient for the chair to say if there are no corrections, deletions, or additions, the minutes stand approved. So again, it does not even technically require a up and
Motion
down
and approval?
or a motion and approval. It can be, directly from the chair, hey, any issues? No, great, they stand approved. So those were her kind of responses to those questions, which is good. We should be able to avoid having to table minutes discussions and things like that from now on.
It's kind of different than before, okay? Back in the old days, I guess you would call it. That was a really big bone of contention, that how can you approve minutes that you were not physically there? So,
No, I could see both sides.
Yeah.
I think, I would imagine that the shift in perception is that now everything is video and audio recorded, so really that's the record of the hearing, and
Uh-huh.
these are the reference document, if you will, for somebody doing research on it. If they,
Does at least one person have to? No? Okay. So the entire board,
it could be a full new board, and maybe they realized, oh, we never approved meeting minutes from 10
wow,
years ago.
okay,
They could say, we reviewed these minutes, there's no issues functionally with them in terms of grammar, spelling, whatever.
right.
So we can approve the minutes, it doesn't mean we approve what happened or anything like that, I guess.
Okay,
is the
okay.
best way I can describe it. So I wanted to, bring that to y'all's attention before we ask you to, look at a couple sets of minutes for us.
But you said it's in the best interest to do it the same way we've been doing it, other than,
Best practice is to have the people who were at the meeting, vote on the meeting minutes and approve them. Or not vote, rather, but be here to answer the chair's question of, are there any changes, corrections, deletions?
okay,
If that's not possible, this lets us go ahead and perform that function.
okay.
Okay, with that said, let's take the oldest one, the 10/19/2016.
8/17.
The three cases. In your review, are there any corrections or additions or changes that are needed in those minutes?
I didn't attend, so.
Okay. We will accept the minutes as presented. Going to case 856, 1/19/2022. Are
That's-
there
That's
any?
the one we just gave the extension on.
Right.
No, I have
Find
nothing
any
on.
problem.
I don't have any problem with that, those minutes.
Nothing? Seeing that there's no corrections, additions, or deletions, we'll accept the minutes as presented. And then finally, this is fast, I like this. And finally, case 865, upon your review, have you noted any corrections,
Yes.
additions, or deletions?
Mr. Martinik was not at that meeting.
Well, that's a
I wasn't,
correction.
I wasn't invited.
He was deleted.
I deserve that. I deserve that. I
Hey,
hate to say this, Abel, but we have 4 members on the zoning commission, and I was putting emails in, and I was like, 4, just complete brain skip. I don't know what to say. I mean, okay, we got 4, that's all the people on the, I don't
I
know.
think he did it on purpose.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
He thought he missed the big hearing about the,
So,
Okay,
with
could-
that change made, would the minutes then be acceptable?
Yes.
Yep.
The-
just
with
delete
the,
the,
with the,
I mean, if it matters, I mean.
It does absolutely matter. So we will have that deletion made before we enter them into the agenda center, which is where the final version of the minutes is.
okay.
You had a case 814 that you submitted to us. And was those approved before?
Yeah, those were already approved.
Okay.
Yeah, last one, there was another one that wasn't approved there because that's what brought up the whole question.
Okay,
And that's the 856.
okay,
Right.
thank you.
Good memory though.
Especially for not having been for that.
Is there any new business that we should be concerned with?
I don't have any new business per se, but I do have a short plug, if you will, for the township's comprehensive land use plan, if you all will give me just a moment of your time. We are moving into the 3rd phase of this plan, this process to update the comprehensive land use plan. That is a big push to roll out a lot of the draft material to the public and get their feedback on that draft material. So the big events are February 28th here in this room at 6 p.m. There's a public open house for people to come in, take a look at all the different materials, the future land use map, goals and objectives we've set, and give their feedback on that. So But if you have, you know, neighbors or social groups or anybody that you think you know should be involved, please invite them. The communityplan.org, our website, has a big flyer right up front now with that information, locations and things like that, so you can always point them there. And then we will be taking the materials on what we're calling a road show to first the Xenia Public Library up by the courthouse. It'll be at the Beavercreek Board of Education for a couple days following their public meeting, which we'll be speaking at. And then it'll be at the Beavercreek Public Library to finish out the month of March. And on top of those opportunities to kind of in person come and view the materials and make comments, there'll be a online survey for the entire month of March that will be open where people can view the materials virtually and then make those same comments and things like that. So if you would be so kind, spread the word when you can. We want all the feedback we can get. So that's it for me. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Do you think we're having a meeting next month?
I don't have any cases in front of me right now.
No.
That means
It's early.
that there's still a couple weeks before something can come in, but
Okay.
yeah, right
Okay.
now, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Hearing no new business, do I hear a motion for adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All say favor aye.
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 Thank you.
Gordon.